Hey guys, Alain Ngalani here, 5-time world champion, black belt in 4 different martial arts, and I'm here with Jason, and happy to be here.
Alain Ngalani, I don't even know where to start. Yesterday,
Alain Ngalani, yes.
Yeah, I got a call yesterday from Nsima. He's a friend of mine, long time. He goes, hey, you have to meet this guy. And so I start looking you up, and I'm like, wow, 46 years old, flexibility of a just incredible flexibility,
Thank you,
incredible
Thank you.
pedigree,
Thank
incredible
you.
background.
Thanks.
4 black in 4 different arts.
Yeah, 5-time world champion, black belt in 4 different martial arts. Yeah, type of martial. So I'm black belt in judo, black belt in karate Shotokan, black belt in Koshiki karate, black belt in Kyokushin karate.
So I want to get started. How did you get, I know you and I were talking earlier, and I definitely want to talk about why I don't like getting kicked in the face and you like kicking people in the face. I definitely want to talk about a bunch of stuff, but I want to ask you,
it's a fetish for me.
Yeah, it's a fetish. Is that your favorite?
I can kick people in the face.
Is that your favorite
You know
thing?
what? It's my favorite thing. I always make a point to kick. I will not finish a fight without putting my foot up your face. So it's the thing for me.
Like, out of all things, that's the
even
thing.
win or lose, I just need to kick you in the face. I have to put it in there. I have to kick you in the face. I'm not joking.
You know, it's funny because like you and I were talking about this, and not to go off on a tangent, but I was telling you, I was like, yeah, you know, I was doing Muay Thai for a while and I loved it, but I'd go in for sparring days. And one day I was going in for sparring and, you know, you're checking kicks and your shins are getting beat up. But then one day, this guy just nails me in the face with his foot. And I just remember that was like the day that I was like, dude, I can't do this type of sparring anymore. And I had to be, it was just so demoralizing.
Like,
and it's so much power behind it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
what am I doing this for? I hate getting kicked in the face. I say, I love kicking people in the face. And you know what? Before a fight, I even make sure to go and have a pedicure.
you want your nails to
I
look
swear,
good?
I'm not joking. I want my nails to look good. You know, if I have to kick you in the face, let me do it nicely, right? So let me make sure that my toe, my nails, everything is clean, you look fresh, you look nice, you know, to give you a nice kick in the face, you know. I'm not joking. It's true. I make a point to take care, make sure that my feet is like all nice and everything. And I say that I will not finish this fight without kicking in the face. And it doesn't matter if I lose the fight, I just want to make sure I kick you in the face. That's it.
So before we start talking about, I want to talk about, so pre-fight, right? You talk about getting a pedicure and you have this mentality of kicking somebody in the face, but you fought many of times from kickboxing, MMA, and then obviously all the karate, judo, you name it. They're all different types of fighting. Yeah. What type, and then obviously I want to go back to the childhood and how you got into it, but is there things that as you've developed your career, because you're 46 and you're telling me that you have, currently you have a fight on the books. It's just been postponed because it's through one championship out of Asia and it's been postponed because of COVID. But you're 46, you're still fighting. You started fighting probably when you were what, 6?
Yeah.
So for 40 years, you've been fighting. I have to ask, like, I know all jokes aside, like the foot in the face is funny and the pedicure, manicure, that's great.
No, it's funny, but it's true.
It's funny, but it's true.
Yeah.
But what else, like from a purely fight perspective, what are the thoughts that are going through your head? Like, and how have they evolved over time? Because I imagine as a kid, you're kind of just trying to figure it out. Then you get older and more mature and you start getting into different types of fighting. What are like mantras, lessons learned, things that you've done before a fight, maybe leading up to the fight that you found have helped you be successful on the biggest stage?
I think the most important thing for me is that at first, never took myself too seriously. I think I just, you know, I'm really, you know, I take it easy on myself. I don't put too much pressure on myself. I don't put, I emphasize on training and on being very disciplined with my training. And once I've done that, you know, my mom gave me this, my mom was really hard on us, you know, on being disciplined and, you know, studying well and doing your training and just do everything that you have to do. And once you go for an exam, if you don't succeed, you don't have to feel bad because you've done your best. She always told me, you know, before you go for an exam, don't worry, I can see you stressed, don't stress. Because I know, I've seen you, you've studied, you've been like putting the effort, putting the time, and you've been like waking up and early in the morning and studying, and you did all that you have to do, and I'm proud of you. Now you go over there and then you do that exam. If you succeed, I'm happy. If you don't succeed, I'm still happy and I still love you. And I think that has influenced me even in fighting. I thought, I'm training and I'm training really hard. I'm really disciplined. I'm really focused, and I'm really serious about my fighting career. And I want to win, of course. But I know that if I don't, my mom still loves me, and people who are close to me, my family still loves me, and people that I care about, they still love me. So it doesn't matter. But I just want to go and give it my best. And I think that approach has really resonated and really helped me a lot, to giving me less pressure and not making me collapse into depression. And you got people who lose and they're like angry, and they go into this depression and all these feelings and emotions. And I don't do that. I don't do that. I couldn't care less. I win, I'm very happy. I lose, I'm also happy. It's okay.
So let's go back to your mom. So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 6 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh, wow.
So big family.
And I was talking to you earlier, and I apologize for not recognizing this. Ivory Coast I thought it was a region or an area. It's actually a country.
It's a country.
And so you spent your early years there?
Yeah.
And then
born in Cameroon, grew up, my early years was in Cameroon. Obviously, Cameroon is my country. I love Cameroon, don't get me wrong. Then Ivory Coast, my second country is Ivory Coast. And I have a lot of memory from, being in Ivory Coast. And yeah.
And then you end up, transitioning, you're going through Africa, you go to France, and then you end up in Hong Kong now, gotta talk about Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But I want to, just going back a second. So you have 7 siblings, right? Mm-hmm. Or 6 siblings, or you have 6 other brothers and 1.
7 siblings, yeah.
7 siblings. And so growing up, you got introduced to the fight game
earlier, at the early age, yeah.
And so why did your mom and I don't know if your dad was involved in that?
My dad was there, my dad was involved, but mostly my mom. In Africa, especially in my family, the mom ruled the house. So she's in charge. She's the boss of the house. Actually, she was the boss. She was the boss of everything. Exactly.
Yeah.
She was the boss of everything. But she ruled the house. She take care of the kids. She's the boss. So she dictate what school we're gonna go to, and what activity we're gonna be doing, right?
Yeah.
And I remember an incident happened at my very early in my upbringing. I went to school and I got bullied, and I never forgot that, because this is how it all started. I got bullied at school. I was crying and I was hurt, but not physically, just emotionally. I came home and I told my mom, and I was expecting her to go with me back to school and take care of the business, because my mom she's quite strong. She's a strong woman, she's very strict. So my mom, she listened to me crying and bitching about this, and then she told me, no, you gotta be a man. You have to learn how to defend yourself and learn how to be a man. You're gonna go back there and you're gonna do anything that you can, okay? And I mean it. You go back there and you do anything that you can and you defend, you stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And this is a true story. She told me, you're gonna go back, you're gonna use what you have. And what do you have? You have your nails. You can scratch, you have your teeth, you can bite. You have your fist, you can punch. You have, you grab him, throw him on the floor and do that. Do anything that you can. And you have your mouth, your voice, scream as loud. Don't scare them with something, but you have to do something. So you go back there and you're gonna do that. And at that time, I couldn't understand, why would a mom, why would she tell me that? I mean, how can you just let me go back to the wolf and then you're telling me that I can scream and scratch and bite and whatever? This is bullshit. Right. That's what I was thinking. In my head, I was like, I was 5, 6. Yeah. 5, 6. I was even sad because I thought she was going to go with me. She didn't go with me, but I never forgot because I was angry at her for not going with me, and I was also scared and disappointed. I have all this mixed feeling, right?
Right.
But she was strict, and she said, this is how it's going to happen. Of course, I went back to school. Everybody wanted to hear what happened. Did you go there and you bite and you scream? I was a kid, so I went back. Nothing happened. I don't even remember these kids who bullied me or whatever.
Right.
And nothing happened, but I never forgot the whole story because
and how it made you feel.
How it made me feel.
Right.
Nothing happened after, but when I came back that weekend, my mom went and signed me up for martial art. She said, Ali, that's it. You're gonna start martial art, and that's how I started judo.
And so at that point, where do you fit on the age group? So are you in the middle with your siblings?
Yeah.
Okay. So were the older siblings doing martial arts?
Yeah.
Or not really.
Yeah.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were kind of.
So I think she just made me start it earlier.
Okay. So you started at like 5, 6 years old.
Earlier than them.
And so you started with judo. Judo was your first one.
Judo was the first one.
And then, so you go into judo, excuse me. And then when do you start transitioning to karate?
So I go into judo and everything is going well. I'm the teacher. They really like me. They think that I'm really talented and I'm doing good. I'm doing little competition and I'm winning and I'm really evolving and I'm doing really well, right? Yeah. But I still wasn't satisfied. I think I seen my brother was doing karate at the time, and I always wait for him, because we go back home together. So while I'm waiting for him, I'm just watching him training. And I thought the contact that they have in karate and kicking and everything, I was just, being on the side and just practicing this, seeing him doing it and just like trying to kick and practicing it on the side without doing it because I wasn't doing that. And every time we go home, we'll like kind of like fight, and try to have like a play fight or whatever with my brother. And I liked it. So I thought, I like to do that. I like that. I like to kick, And, I was practicing. And we always, at home, we were always like kicking things, kicking the trees, the branches, the whatever, anything that's hanging, you're going to try and kick it, and just throw your legs and kick. And repetitively, we're going to do that. And I think that brought me to, to improve and work a lot on the ability and my flexibility on kicking high and whatever. And that was just a habit that we had at home.
Yeah.
And one day, my brother, during his training, they were doing a competition, a karate competition, and I was just watching, right, waiting for my brother.
Right.
And his team, they had someone was missing, so they needed someone else to cover. And I was on the side, and they say, maybe your brother could do it. And I'm like, yes, let me do it. I've been saying that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they put me in there, and I never done karate before. Right? I just watched my brother, and I just practiced with him from time to time from an outside point of view. So they threw me in there for the competition, and I won the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
And so that sparked.
That's it. Sparked the whole thing. I just started karate and never stopped.
So now we were talking about karate earlier, and there's multiple different types of karate. And I think when people think about this, and I imagine, the Karate Kid probably put some more emphasis on this, and of course, but for the most people, including myself, I can have a basic understanding. Like judo is a lot of throws. There's a lot of similarity between judo and jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu is more on the ground.
Similarity. Yeah,
a lot of similarities. But in karate, I'm having a difficult
I think jiu-jitsu
time.
is more elaborate, right? Jiu-jitsu is more broadened. Judo is it's limited, especially in the competitive aspect of in a mixed martial art. For instance, if you do judo and you go and do mixed martial art, and you do jiu-jitsu and you go and do mixed martial art, I think your advantage is on jiu-jitsu because you have more things that you could do, right? Leg locks and stuff like that. That's a thing that I didn't learn in judo. Right?
Okay.
So yeah.
Because that's not part of the traditional curriculum.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're going through. So now, did you do karate and judo at the same time, or did you then pivot completely to karate?
No, I switched to karate. No, I didn't switch that immediately. I was doing a little bit. Of course, I kept doing judo. They won't let me quit. So I had to carry on doing both until I switched completely.
Now, what is the difference between the different types of karate? Because you have multiple black belts in multiple different forms of it. What is
when I started with karate, I started with Shotokan karate, and Shotokan karate is semi-contact. So the contact is not, you're not allowed to hit fully, right?
Okay.
So
almost like Taekwondo.
So if I hit, I have to do sai. So I have to present and pull back, right?
Okay.
Sai, like that. So I hit you. so it shows that I went through, but I'm not like going fully. I'm not like,
You're not putting the drive behind
exactly.
it. So you have to
Some
have
people
the
would do
body
that,
awareness.
but that's cheating, right? And they would be like, they could be disqualified and whatever if you do that.
So from that art of karate, and I want to hear about the other ones. So you have to have some great body awareness. I imagine from a competition perspective, that's pretty tough because you're trying to execute a punch as fast as you can while also stop it as fast as you can to hit your opponent.
But that's the beauty of it, and that's what at that time I didn't think that it was the beauty of it. At the time when I was doing that, I thought, no, I want to go for it. I want to go through, because I was young, I was a kid, and I was like, I just want to hit, And when I would go back home with my brother, and when we spar and when we fight, we hit like really hitting each other.
Right.
With my brother, we really hit each other. But when I go to the club, I'm not allowed to hit. I have to just present and pull back, right? But I think now, today, looking at it, I think it's one of the best form. I think it's actually harder, for me, I think it's actually harder to present and pull back than to just kick. Anybody can just throw, something, throw your punch or whatever. But to have the control, to have the precision and the control to throw it and then pull back and, being able to do it but not doing it, I think that's a skill.
And so now in other forms of, now is that to the face as well, or there is no striking to the face?
Was to the face as well.
Yeah.
In Kyokushin, no striking to the face.
Okay, so that's other form. Now, do other forms of karate, and I'm genuinely curious for myself, do they also have the similar rule set about showing but then stopping, or do other ones like kind of fulfill the movement?
Okay, so Kyokushin is full contact. Kyokushin is, it's day and night. Kyokushin is hit as hard. The conditioning, I have to hit you, and we hitting each other without blocking. So you have to hit me as hard as you can, like in my torso, as hard as you can, and I'm gonna hit you as hard as you can. And let's say we're going for a round of 2 minutes. So for 2 minutes, you go, you go, and we call that conditioning, right? So you
bare
go,
knuckle.
I go bare knuckle. You hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you. We're not even trying to block. We just go for it. And then 2 minutes, 2 minutes, then you have a break, and 2 minutes again, and so on. So you have round like that.
Yeah.
And that's Kyokushin. And the same thing with kicking. You kick me on the leg, I kick you. You kick me, I kick you. No blocking. We go for it. You kick me, I can't feel my leg anymore, but I keep taking. And that's Kyokushin. And that's also conditioning. And when we do in the fight, it's the same thing. But now but in Kyokushin, you're not allowed to punch in the face, right? So because it's full contact, you're not allowed to hit in the face, but you can kick in the face. That's why I liked kicking. I thought that was perfect. So let's do it. So you can kick in the face, but you can't punch in the face. You can punch in the body, and you can kick in the leg, in the face, everywhere. That's Kyokushin.
So as you're progressing through, you have your karate, you have the judo background. When did you start transferring into did you know you wanted to be a professional fighter at an early age? Because you said you had great success at an early age through
I had great
competition.
success. I love it. And my parents supported me. And for my mom, it was like, I'll support you as long as you have good grade at school. So as long as your school, it doesn't impair your school, and you performing very well, and you bring me good grades from school, you'll keep, I'll support you. And so you can train, and yeah, I pay for it.
So when did you turn professional?
So I turned professional. I was still a teenager when I turned professional. I think I was 16 when I was qualified, when the national team got qualified for the World Championship in Holland. And I was the youngest in the national team.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, and my mom took me out for dinner and drink. And that was the first time I asked my mom if I can drink. I'm just deviating a bit. That was the first time I asked my mom if I can drink alcohol. I was 16, yeah.
Would you have a beer?
17. Yeah, and she asked me, what will you want? I said, I like to have a beer.
Yeah.
I remember because this is particular, right? This is, it's also important, an important step in my life, right? So she said, you like to have a beer? I'm like, yes, ma'am. She's like, okay, what beer would you like? I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
She's like, okay, what about this one? And they brought me the beer. And I pour it, and then we chase, and I test it, and I'm like,
it tastes terrible.
She's like, what? I'm like, but it's disgusting.
Right.
She's like, yeah, but what did you expect? I see everyone love it, and everyone is drinking. They're so passionate about it, but I thought it was sweet, because for me, if it's sweet, you love it. People love it when it's sweet, right? If you drink
Right.
something that's sweet, orange, mango juice or whatever, it's like so good, right?
Right.
And I thought beer was even better. It's so good, it must be sweet. I say it's bitter. So why would people like it?
Right.
It's like, it's bitter. She's like, yeah, but that's how it is. She said, you don't want it? I said, no, I don't think so. She said, you changed your mind? I said, yeah, I changed my mind. She said, then you don't want to drink beer? I'm like, no, it's not sweet. She said, then what would you like? I said, maybe I take a juice, something sweet. She's like, okay, we're going back to juice, but now remember, you don't want to drink beer, then don't drink alcohol then, because it's bitter.
So did you not really drink much?
And I say, from there, that was it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That was it. I just realized that I don't like it. It's bitter, and I don't know why people enjoy it, but I guess that's not for me.
So then after that?
Put it aside, and I'm fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good for you.
That's how it went.
So you get in the professional fight game at a really early age. You're not drinking alcohol. You're pretty straight line. And then when did you how did it evolve? Because you were probably a 16-year-old fighting like grown men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what type of mindset does that take? Because I know you talked about the mindset of going in and knowing you put your best effort in and that the kind of cards fall where they fall and you're going to be happy either way because you're putting out your best. I think that's a great way to approach things. But I imagine it must be stressful going to these different countries, doing different things, fighting grown at mid-20s to mid-30s. I mean, was there any did you have people around you, mentors, coaches that were helping you through this process? And what were they saying to you aside from your mom? It sounds like she was very impactful.
She was very impactful, but I have to say that one important thing is that I was loving what I was doing, right? I was really loving what I was doing. I was really passionate about it. And she could see that. So and everybody could see that. And obviously I have coaches and they did what they could, but they didn't do it. It's not like today where, you can really, take care and make sure that an athlete has every little thing that he needs to. I didn't have that at the time. No one, there's a lot of things that people could have told me and that they didn't tell me, but I was okay. It was just the way things was, in those times. And it was tough, but I had my brother with me, and I think just living the life with my brother was already like a task, a difficulty on itself. My brother and I, we were crazy. We had these rules, these stupid rules that we had at home that I don't know where we came up with. It was like, every time you pass by, if you're not tensing up your abs, for instance, I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can in the abs. So if you're not tensing, you're gonna be on the ground crying your heart because I just connected.
Wait, so you and your brother lived together when you were 16?
Yeah.
And anytime someone walked by, it was open. It was
open. That was the deal.
To just nail him as hard as you can.
So you always have to keep your abs engaged and contract so that you don't get hit, you don't get hurt, right? So if I'm passing and hit me on the abs, okay, so there it's contracted, right?
Yeah.
So I'm fine.
Yeah.
But imagine we're just laughing and we're talking about something and I'm just breathing in or breathing out and you manage to get me full on.
Yeah.
Then I'm on the ground and crying, or how that hurt. And that's what we were doing. It was like a stupid rule, but that was one of our rules at home. So just living with them, it was like survival mode all the time. And I remember I got some of my brother like that, my younger brother Sylvain, I destroy his abs like that. I mean, I hit him so hard, seriously. And today I feel bad, of course, but it's one of the things that I know it has just, mold me.
Yeah.
And until today, I will contract my abs anywhere, anytime. Try to get me, Jason, I'm saying this, you catch me somewhere, hit me on the abs, you get me.
I don't think I want to hit you in the abs because...
Let's have that rule. I don't
know, because here's the thing. If I see you walking, I think, oh, boom, something tells me that later on that day, you're going to get me real good.
No, we were quite disciplined about it. If I hit you on the abs, you cannot get up and then hit me on the head or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's the rule. It's there. If I get you, I get you, that's all. So it was like that, and I think just learning how to engage in my core, contracting and engaging my core all the time has really helped me also. I think even during fighting, during competition, or even just to mold my physique and make sure that I have abs all year round, every year for my entire life. You know, I never seen myself without 6-pack or without 8-packs or 12-packs. I don't know if how many I have right now.
Well, let's bring that up. So when it comes to core strength, right? You hear that word all the time. And I think people think primarily about, you know, their abdominals, but maybe sometimes their obliques, but they don't really think too much about like spinal erectors or different things that basically the midline stabilization, the muscles that support the spine, right? And you're talking about your abs. So when it comes to training, you know, I was watching some of your videos. I'm like, dude, you have incredible flexibility, incredible strength, incredible abilities. Like you're like the least, like if we were like at a restaurant, it's like, you're like, you know, looking around, you're like, dude, that guy, I do not want to get in a tussle with him. He could sprint, he could jump, he could fight, I mean, you name it. And those skills have been acquired over many, many years, but they've also been maintained. And I think that's interesting because, you know, as I've gotten older, so I competed professionally in CrossFit for a decade from when I was 21 to like 31. And now I'm 36, but my fitness, I don't feel like it's fallen off too much because I still stay active. But for you, starting the fight game at so young and then progressing through, what types of things are you doing? Because I asked you this question and you had an interesting answer. I said, do you think your flexibility is as good as it is today because of getting started in martial arts at an early age where you're kind of like exposed to these things? And you brought up a good thing that, you know people today who are not very flexible, who also got started in judo, karate at a young age because they didn't stay disciplined on their flexibility. And then I asked you a question, which is even more fascinating. I say, hey, I heard you could do the splits. And you're like, dude, anytime, wake me up in the middle of the night, I could do it right there, right there. So how did you accumulate this flexibility and how does your body feel better today? Does your body feel better today than it did?
My body feels better today than it did 20 years ago.
Right. So
I'm in my 40s and I feel stronger and more flexible. I feel happier. I feel better than I was like 20 years past. And I think I'm loving it. And that's
what's
why
the secret?
That's why I say, they ask me, why are you still fighting in your 40s?
Yeah.
And I say, dude, I'm feeling so good. I'm so happy because I'm feeling good. And, you know, waking up in the morning and being grateful and screaming, damn, I feel good. Let me get out of here and conquer this, you know, whatever the day and whatever is going to come is coming to me, it's going to be good because I'm feeling good. And I think it all comes back to just being disciplined. I know it's the same boring word everyone's. I think it's just you know, being passionate and being disciplined. That's all. You know, I say that I know people who have been doing or practicing flexibility and being very flexible with me like 20 years back. And when I see them today, they're the most inflexible people. And among these people are my own siblings, my own brothers. My brothers and I, if I show you videos or pictures of us when we were younger, everyone could do the split. Everyone, I think the whole family is like, everyone do the split. Everyone, at any time. And today, I'm still doing the split. I can still do the split. I can do the split in 2 chairs. I can do the split I can do it anytime. You wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just do the split anytime you want. And the other person who can do the split like that is my mom. My mom can still do the split. She can still do backflip. When I go and visit her.
Like even now, today?
Even now. My mom is 70. My mom is 70 now, 71. 70. And she still does that. So I went to visit her 3 months ago. When I visit her, I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm on holiday, okay? So don't judge me. When I wake up, she's back from her run and she said, oh, I'm back already from my run, but I made you breakfast already and whatever. And it's just amazing that she still has the discipline to go for a run in the morning. So when I'm having my breakfast, she's doing her stretching. So when I look at her doing stretching and I'm ashamed. So if my mom is doing that, what excuse do I have? Because it's very easy. Everyone always come up with excuses, you know. People stop me in the street. Oh, man, I seen your video. You're so flexible. Do you think I can be like you? I'm like, oh, please. Because you're asking me that, but you have no drive, no discipline, nothing. You're just asking me that and you're wasting my time. If I'm telling you that it doesn't take much, right? I'm asking you to go back and just do a simple thing and just do that regularly, just do that every day. Spread your legs, you know, shoulder width, yeah, and then just go down and maintain the position, right? Stay down for like, I don't know, a minute. Do that every day. you can do that anywhere. Don't tell me that you don't have time, because you could be even at work, get off your desk and just hot stance, drop down, and spread your knee, spread your leg, and drop down. Keep that position. Maintain it for a minute.
Yeah.
Then next week or the following month, do it for 2 minutes. Then just keep doing that. Then if you feel like your groin, your hamstring are loose or loosening up, then go a bit further. You see what I mean? Just like I would say, I go further, and instead of going hot stance, I'll just open my legs like this, and just gradually improving every time for a minute or two every day. Just do that every day.
But
it makes a difference,
It's the discipline factor that you're talking about, though. And so your mom sounds like she has more discipline than most. I mean,
exactly.
Can she? I mean, like, no joke. At her age, you think she can still do a backflip?
Yeah, she does. A video of her. I think I even posted on my Instagram a video of me and my mom training 3 months ago when I went to visit her. Yeah. And she's incredible. My mom does. I could send you a video of her doing the split. I could message her now and say that my friend is here and he's wondering if you could do the split. And of course, she show off. She with pleasure, she will hit the split immediately and take a video and send it to you.
I love it. But you know why that's so important is because something I think about a lot, especially owning gyms, and with you having your own center as well, is that I want to keep people as fit as possible for as long as possible. I'm not interested in someone just being fit, strong, healthy for a week, a month, a year. I want them to be at that for all the rest of their life. And so it's really cool and compelling story with you that you could start so young and not get burnt out, because a lot of people get burnt out. So the discipline and the brothers around and your mom being a big figure, I think obviously helped this situation. But I'm curious, from not getting burnt out, did you ever feel burnt out? I mean, dude, you're fighting professionally, getting punched and kicked and whatever in the face. You're doing all these fitness things. You're staying super active. Like, at some point, did you ever just say, like, hey man, maybe I just want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and have some ice cream for the next year?
Which I do also. I mean, not for a year, but which I do also. I eat ice cream, I sit on the couch, I watch TV, and while I'm on the couch, I could do a split and watch TV while doing it. But what I want to say is that I always take advantage of any situation. I could be here with you and I want to stretch a little bit. I want to stand, I don't want to sit because I want to adopt a proper posture. I want to have my chest up. I always, make sure to engage my core. I always think about that. And coming back to what we were talking earlier about the core, and I think that, tensing up and engaging is good because it strengthens my lower back, my spinal, my posture. Postural is very important, because if you don't engage your core, you can lunge very easily. So you're sitting and then you let go and then you end up like this, So for me, all of that is important. For me, lifestyle and longevity in what I'm doing is important. I want to live for, as long, not just as long, but I want to live a good life. I want to live a good life. I want to be healthy. I want to be moving, to be active for as much as I can. And when I'm not anymore, then okay, let me die. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but while I'm here, I want to be. There's no stopping me. My age will not matter. I think that I'm in my 40s, but I feel like I'm in my 20s. So it doesn't really matter for me. I can still compete. The last fight that I had, I was fighting against someone who was half my age, and he was like taller than me, almost 2 meters, and half my age, and almost 2 meters and bigger than me, and I kick his ass. So, and when I've done that, I come out and I'm thinking, so what? Why will I stop? If I'm not injured, if I'm not disgusted, if I'm not done with it, I'm not doing it because I'm looking for money or whatever, because I've done that already. I'm okay. I could do without that, right? But I'm enjoying myself, and I still have the competitive, aspect of it. I still feel triggered by it. So as long as I'm enjoying myself, I'll keep competing, and I can compete not just in one championship or not just in MMA. I can compete in any form of activity, right? So I like to challenge myself. I like to be keep myself going with different tasks and different challenges, I think it's very important for anyone to look for something that you're passionate about and to start an activity and to do some competition. And when I say competition, I just don't mean going to fight. You can do any type of competition. You could do dancing competition. I love dancing. I think that on my Insta, you're going to see that I spend a lot of time dancing. I love dancing.
What's your favorite type of dancing?
Salsa dancing, break dancing. I love all of that. So I'm a joyful person. I love being around people who are joyful. I love bringing joy anywhere I go. I love to dance, to exercise myself, and I was very shy when growing up. I was very shy. It was very difficult for me to talk to a girl. I could never find a word to put it out there, and I think doing this activity has helped me, to make that step, to break that barrier also. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think people should look for something that they like to do, and just go at it.
Like kind of set up periodic challenges.
Exactly.
Like when they stay motivated.
And when I say competing, you could do a dance competition, right? That's competing.
Right.
But he excites you, and then he bring that trigger that you need. Everyone need that. You need that kind of you need how do you say
the spark, the light.
Well, that spark, and that's good.
The goal setting.
It's positive. Right?
But now as you're growing up, and so you shift to Hong Kong, and I want to start by asking you. So you have a school in Hong Kong you've had for 19 years, which is awesome, by the way. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, that was the best thing that happened to me. I kept it in the same place for that long. I met a lot of people. I influenced and I help, a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, kids who are grown up now, or people who are in difficulty. I've met kids with problems, kids with mental issue and all this difficulty. And with martial art, I managed to turn them completely around. So
you moved from France to Hong Kong. Why Hong Kong? Is that just because that's where the fights were at?
My sponsor at the time brought me to Hong Kong. We had I think an event there, and we got there, and one thing led to another, and I just never left.
So in Hong Kong, I want to ask you, so when it comes to like the business side of owning like a gym out there, there's gonna be a lot of gym owners that'll probably listen to this. I'm curious, like pivoting, or you didn't even pivot, I shouldn't say. You're a professional athlete, you're a professional fighter. And then from there, you also opened up a business. How much of the success of the school do you think was related to your brand, your name, your past accomplishments or your current accomplishments? And how much of it do you think doesn't really matter? If you're a jerk and if you're not running a good business, it's not going to survive anyways.
I think, of course, you have to be a businessman. You have to be business oriented because you still have to run a business, right?
Right.
And that's something that I think I found also, I think it's been hard for me because I'm more of a martial artist, and I like to care for people. I'm emotional. I put the emotion in there. I'm sentimental. And that's not business wise. Business, sometimes you have to block the emotion. You don't see that. You fire when you need to fire. You get rid of, or you cut something if you need to cut, and so on. And for me, I'm too personal. I'm too emotional. I like to care. I care about the people who work for me. I care about the family. I care about how they're feeling, and so it's a bit different. But saying so, I think if you are passionate and martial art is your thing, you have it as a business, I think you have more chance because it's your passion. So you spend more time there and you understand the business.
Right.
For me, going from university to opening a business and going to be a world champion was my goal. I say my parents wanted me to be a doctor. When I got there, I realized that I don't have to do what they want me to do. I want to be able to do what I want to do. And what I want to do was get out there, conquer the world, be world champion, and have a center, a fitness center, a gym, and that would be the greatest life for me. And when I see that, my mom just bursts out laughing or crying, and she say, "You're so stupid. How could you think that you could raise a family with doing boxing or kickboxing or whatever?"
Yeah.
Who does that?
This is when you were in university?
Yeah, this is back then.
Because you were going to university to
and
go
then
to
she
med
said,
school.
"You're dropping everything. You're dropping your med school. You're dropping everything for that."
Yeah.
And I say, "Yes, ma'am."
How did you know that was the right decision at the time? It
Because that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just what I felt. This is like, I'm so happy doing that. I mean, there's no brainer. When I realized that I don't have to listen to her anymore or do what she wants me to do, I just realized it then that, damn, wait, I'm actually doing some part-time job just to pay for my study. So therefore, she's not anymore paying for it. So wait, so does that mean that I'm actually like, I cannot take care of myself and I don't need to do what she wants me to do?
Yeah.
I just realized it then, because it was always like, you do what I ask you to do, I pay for your training, and you see what I mean? So then I'm like, oh, you don't pay for my training anymore. Now I can train, I can do whatever I can. So I don't have to do this anymore.
Did she
I
not
can break
talk to you
free.
for a little bit?
No, of course she was disappointed, but I think we knew already at the time that she knew and I knew that I'm becoming a man now, and I can make my own decision. Of course, I needed to prove that that I made the right decision, and I did. I'm happy today. She agreed with that. She agreed with me that
this was the right move.
Yeah, you made you. And then she always say, even today she say, look, I wanted you to be a doctor and to help people, right? And you didn't do exactly what I asked you to do, but in some way you're still helping people.
Yeah.
And for me, you're still like a doctor.
Some people would say that you actually get more impact on your patient or your client than a doctor would. Most people, this is what I think about a lot here, is that people go to their doctor, let's just say once or twice a year, max, right? I mean, scheduled. But you get to impact your members or patients 5-6 days a week. You could talk to them about things like flexibility, longevity, nutrition, strength training, whatever. And that's a really cool way to impact people, right? So, I mean, I would argue that like our coaches on the floor, completely different than an MD, of course. Like we've had a lot of experience with MDs and they've saved my daughter's life and it's crazy. But there's also like different impact you can make on the floor here. And I think that's what you're doing with your gyms as well. I want to ask, so I have to ask, because Nsima and I were talking about this earlier. You have people that reach out to you who want to fight you. And I get that. Like do you ever get people on the street who just want to fight you?
Yeah. How
does that go down?
Well, I guess that I always think that people are crazy, right? People come up with they're in their mind, they're in their world or whatever, and yes, you get people challenging you here and there, and like even in the street. But I always think someone can be not in his right mindset and challenge me, and I'm not gonna hurt him because he's not in his right mindset, right? So I have to be better than that. So I have to be knowledgeable and know when is what and what is when. So I can visualize, I can see, and I can quickly see if someone is, whatever. And I can, find a way to deal with the situation accordingly without hurting anyone.
But then how about when people call you? So you have businessmen who sometimes just want to like fight with gloves on with you?
No, but it's normal because in this nowadays people are very stressed. People live a very stressful life. Right. Things have changed. People don't have time. People spend a lot of time at work. They are very stressed. They deal with an enormous amount of stress, and then people have like they just break down. Right? They just let them break down because they are under a lot of stress at work and so on. So people realize, and I was training some people, and they'll call me and say, "Look, do you have an hour? I just want to put gloves on with you and let's just go on, And they're doing that, I understand, because they just lost millions on the market, right? Yeah. They just lost their whole company, and they just don't know. You either go and then just find a terrace and jump, or whatever, or you come and put your gloves on with me and let's go at it. And then they come to me and say, okay, let's do it. I just want to just put your gloves on and let's just go. I just want to remove that whatever I have. They don't even need to tell me that. I know what they want. They want to fight me. Okay. But they still know that they're coming into an environment that is going to be, it can be critical for them, but it's still safer.
Yeah.
Right? It's still better than jumping somewhere or just whatever. So they come and I beat them up, right? And I beat them up and they pay for it. And I beat them up. But I'm saying it like that, but not in a bad way. I beat them up though. I put them to their place and then I remind them, of the way of life.
Yeah.
And that they should be grateful. And I think nothing, and that's why I love martial art, because nothing can humble you more than martial art. Nothing can humble you. You know that when you do your Iman, or you do your hit, or you do your set over there, when you finish to lift those kettlebell and do these burpees and kettlebell, after half an hour, dude, you come out of there and you don't want any trouble.
You don't want any trouble. That's right.
You're humble. That workout has just humbled you.
Right.
And you're satisfied.
Yeah.
Man, you don't want any trouble.
Yeah. It's so funny when I leave the jiu-jitsu gym, I feel at peace.
Yeah.
And I think that more people should be exposed to more martial arts or CrossFit and coming to the gym, because especially for guys, I don't know if I'm sure you've seen this over the years, but we just have some, for me, I feel like unless I get in a great workout or jiu-jitsu or something, I feel a lot of anxiousness that builds up.
Yeah.
And I need to find a healthy, effective way to kind of to let
channel,
it out, to channel it.
Yeah, channel it and let it out. So people have different way of channeling, and you'll see that in a family you hear in the news, or someone was he just couldn't take it and then he shot his family, or he beat up his whatever thing or whatever. Things like that happen. Now, if these people came to me and disparity with me, I'll just beat them up and all will be sorted. You see, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously, doing a 30-minute or even a 20-minute hit or training, kickboxing session or whatever, you come out of it, you are drenched.
Well,
right?
I want to
get in. You feel good.
I want to get in some work with you for sure. What does your training look like today at 46? What does your training look like today? And then leading up to a fight, I'm sure it changes, obviously. But right now, you kind of had a fight on the books, but now it's being delayed. So on a daily basis, what does your strength conditioning look like? What are you doing?
I train every day, right? I train every day.
And 7 days a week?
7 days a week. Say on the weekend, I'll do different activity. I call it SEAL training because I'll do, for instance, water sport.
Right.
Yeah, I'll do some water sport. I'll do hiking, swimming, hiking, stretching. So I'll always find something to do, right? So I keep active all the time, and I make sure that during the week I have my training in the morning and perhaps stretching in the afternoon, every week and every day.
Wow. And yeah, do you ever ruck? Do you ever put a heavy weighted backpack on and go for a hike that way?
Actually, I never did put a heavy this loaded thing because I think I'm heavy enough already.
Oh, all right. Well,
But I like that. I have it. I own one, but I just don't use it often.
Okay. And so, look, I want to get right into what we have today. I would love for you to take me through whatever you want to do or whatever we want to do. I can't wait to get after. We're at one of our gyms right now, and I'm so happy to meet you, to see you, to learn from you.
Me too, Jason.
You really embody a lot of the characteristics that I find very admirable, right?
Thank you.
You've dedicated your life to something. You've made a big impact on so many people. And to see you at your age, which is 10 years older than me, basically more fit than I am, it just encourages me that I have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And I'm curious at 56 if you'll even be able to, do you think you could beat up the 36-year-old of you?
I think so. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm more smart, I'm more knowledgeable now than I was then. So I think yes, I can.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, man. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you.